Hey there, welcome to CandTCollectibles MC.
I'm T.
And this is your stalling before bedtime edition of our top 5 countdown. Today we're doing shortstops, trying to get this done before the season here. So we've got shortstops and outfielders left, and so we'll hit on the best athletes on the field, as a shortstop would tell you. Most other positions would say that's not quite the case here. And so we've got a couple players. Now, shortstop's kind of interesting, Tom. A lot of premium players, but a lot of injuries as well. And so we're going to go through a few players first that may have gotten hurt for some reason. Whatever the reason, it just happens, or projected to be hurt, and if they were to play the entire season, they would be in that top 5, and so we're not going to forget about them or anything like that. But they were nice enough to get injured before I put this together, unlike some selfish pitchers who got injured after we did our projections, and now it's completely irrelevant in the other videos that we put out 2 weeks ago. So let's just dig in here and look at our top 5 shortstops with a couple bonus guys up front here, and that list starts off with
Speaking of injuries,
Fernando Tatis Jr. All right, what do we have to say about him?
It says right there he's like really good at baseball, but he's really bad at motorcycling.
He is really bad at motorcycling. So if he were to play a full season, this would be our number 1. Okay, but he's going to miss half the season. Who knows how you come back with the wrist? There's a couple different wrist injuries. Matt Olson had a wrist injury a few years ago. Came back to hit like 36 home runs. Other guys have wrist injuries, and it takes them a year and a half to come back and do anything. So we don't know what's going to happen. He's got a wrist. He's got shoulder. All sorts of problems here. But, there's a reason he's not in our top 5 because he's going to miss half a season. But if he were, then obviously he would be in that top 5 if he were to be a top player overall if he were to play the full season. All right, here's another player that looks like he's going to make the team, and this is a younger player, so we want to throw in a rookie as well, something to kind of look for, and that's ONeill Crews, who's really kind of it's amazing. He just flicks his wrist and the ball just flies out of the park. So this is a prospect with a 40 grade hit tool, but game power is 70, raw power an 80. That's perfect, as high as you can get. Not perfect, but as high as you can get, and a future value of 60 overall. This is a legit prospect who in spring training is having some fun here. But I've seen the highlights. I haven't seen how he's done overall, but the power is legit. And so if he plays a full season, I'm not saying he could get excuse me, talk for a minute here. Took in too much air. Anyways, if he played a full season, not saying that he would be thanks for the help, buddy. If he played a full season, not saying he'd be a top 5 overall, but he could make some hay, and maybe this is one of the rookies to look out for. So his projection is for 113 games. So extrapolate this over 150 games. Not everybody plays 162 or anything like that, but we could be looking at a 30 home run guy with a 121 rated runs created and a pretty darn respectable average. So it's something to look out for here. Maybe he sneaks his way in there. Who knows? But as of now, with that projection and the rookie struggles that these guys usually go through, probably not a top 5 guy, but might be down the road, something to look out for here. So, all right, another player, not our top 5 or anything like that. Willy Adames. Why are we looking at Willy Adames? Because after getting traded from Tampa last year and going to Milwaukee, it's Algonquin for the good land. Okay,
is it good land though?
It is a good land here.
They're literally called the Brewers.
He had the highest walk rate of his career. He had 25 home runs, which was a career high as well. Strikes out a bit too much. So if he were able to get that down to that kind of 20% range, maybe we could take him a little bit more serious in that top 5 area. But look, he's ready to go. Arr, do the Adames. Rawr, so look, he's a monster. After getting traded to Milwaukee last year, he was a 285 hitter. The BABIP was pretty elevated, so look for some regression on that one. But he was walking at a pretty decent clip, striking out at he was at 135 weighted runs created with 20 home runs. He was one of the best shortstops in the game. For his career, he's hit 300 away from Tropicana, so he's always complained about the batter's eye at Tampa Stadium. And once he got away from it, there was something to his complaint because he was a really, really good player. So watch for Willy Adames. Maybe he can keep it going. When he's been away from the Trop, he's played pretty well, and he showed that with Milwaukee last year. Projections are kind of in that, here's what he's been for his career, but I think there's been a change, and it might be something to look out for, okay? All right, Carlos Correa. I think he finds his way just outside of that top 5, and it's because of the projections. the guy gets injured, right? He hasn't put, he's played a couple of full seasons, but more often than not, there's injuries involved. Last year he played a full season, and you can see what he can do. He had 134 weighted runs created with 26 home runs, career high walk rate, below 20 strikeout rate. So the skills are elite. They're there. It just really depends on how healthy he is. This is like the Twins season in general. Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton, if they're both healthy, we could win the division.
Well, yeah, but also, Carlos Correa's strikeout rate, it's below 20%.
Yeah.
And that's his highest ever.
That's his lowest amount ever. So getting below that 20%, so they're kind of projecting him to be in that area there. So if I've done this right, if I remember, so he is what he is at this point. So the strikeout rate and the walkout rate, if you've been in the league for a few years, that shouldn't change too much. For his career, he can be kind of that 130 rate runs created. We just need to see him on the field. And so if he does that, this is a top 5 shortstop projection, saying, he probably a DL stint or 2 or something like that. So we'll see. If he's healthy like he was last year, then we know what we're getting, top 5.
Former cheater.
Hey, stop that. All right, he's a Twin now. You can't say that.
I said former.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He would never do that. All right.
Yeah, okay.
We've got a team leader on our hands here. He looks way better in Minnesota colors than Houston colors. So, all right, Corey Seager, another guy here. In 2021, he was injured for about half the season. When he came back in August through the end of season, he hit 335 with a 1,000 Eaton OPS and a 169 weighted runs created. That's MVP level stuff. All right. This is one of the best shortstops in the game. It'd be like Tatis, Seager if they were both healthy playing the whole year. They're not, so they're outside the top 5, but we shouldn't forget about him because Corey Seager, they're projecting him to take a few weeks off here, but he's still looking at it, 291 average, elite walk and strikeout rate. I mean, again, that's what he kind of does in his career with a 138 weighted runs created. So if he can stay on the field, okay, as much as any of these other guys, he's top 5. Projections don't have him there, but I want to throw him in here just to be like, hey, it could happen. Watch out for Corey Seager, one of the best shortstops in the game when he's on the field. It's just that on the field part. All right, should we get to our top 5 here?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. All right, we're going to start out with this guy. Never heard of him. What do you know? What can you tell me about this dude?
He came from the Rays minor league team, I guess?
Yes, he did. What do we see about his profile that you like?
Yeah.
As a rookie, first time through the league, he hit nearly 300. He walks 8% of the time, strikes out 12% of the time. Elite level stuff. 127 weighted runs created. Not a lot of power yet, okay? He's just got an elite plate presence that's going to prevent prolonged slumps. It seems like he's got major league pitching kind of figured out already, and he's like 21 years old. And so the home run to fly ball rate, again, as he gets older, you'll see power develop. Perhaps maybe he can hit 20-25 or something like that. And then when he does it, then he is a superstar or something like that. So this season we are looking for something like a 290 average. Again, elite plate presence type stuff, 128 weighted runs created, elite bat. If he gets up to 20 home runs, I'm not sure he gets up to that one right now. But if he ever starts approaching kind of that 30 level, then the hype will be absolutely worth it. But right now, he's just hitting the ground running at age 21, which is unusual and pretty incredible stuff. All right, so you've got 12 years to figure out major league pitching. Think you can do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. All right.
He's doing a thumbs down.
Exactly.
He's wearing Vikings colors and he's doing a thumbs down.
To all the people saying Francisco Lindor, what a terrible player, and he's washed up. That's what he says to you. Thumbs down. Right? Okay.
But he's wearing Vikings colors while doing that.
Well, they're more so Mets colors. All right.
Oh, okay.
Average. Lowest average of his career. 230. BABIP. Lowest of his career. Weighted runs created. Just junk. Based on the strikeout rate, though, we're very, very good. This is kind of, again, that was the highest walk rate of his career. Also the highest strikeout rate of his career. Highest. The best walk rate. Green is high. Red is low. So the highest strikeout, but still under 20%. So the elite plate presence is still there. 20 home runs. If you looked at, he was swinging a little bit outside of the zone, but he was getting really unlucky, okay? So lowest contact rates of his career, all right? 240 average, 290, and these are on balls outside of the zone. But after coming back from injury, so I think injury kind of affected him as well. 240, 816 OPS, 118 weighted runs created. So he got more respectable. I think he was hurt, okay, and it took him a little while to get going from that. So we're looking for him to get back up to that 260 area again. Elite plate presence, 118 weighted runs created, 29 home runs. We could get back to vintage Francisco Lindor this season. I think he's healthy. This is not, he's not known for like getting hurt all the time or anything like that. So should be healthy. We could see a really nice season for him. He comes in at number 4. All right. He
has good hair.
He has great hair. All right. Xander Bogaerts. All right. Now we're just getting to guys. You know what you're getting out of these guys here. 2021, 295 average, elite, walk rate, strikeout rate, 130 weighted runs created, 23 home runs. For his career, he's a 290 hitter, so you wouldn't expect things to deviate too much. And so when he does what he does, he is a solid top three shortstop. So over the last 4 years, he's been 130 plus weighted runs created. So he's improved over those first couple of years. So he's been about the best shortstop. I think Marcus Semien was actually the best shortstop over the last 3 years. Xander Bogaerts was right behind her, but Semien's no longer a shortstop. So Xander Bogaerts, your best shortstop over the last 3 years for the most part here. So projecting him to be right in those career averages, 282. So I would take the over on that probably. But again, that walk and strikeout rate is going to stay about the same. 125 weighted runs created, 26 home runs. You know what you're getting from Xander at this part. Just stay healthy, and there's no reason to believe he won't. Top 3 shortstop. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Marcus Semien, he's the one that took his spot.
Huh?
He's the one that took his spot.
Whose spot?
Marcus Semien's.
I know who. Well, Bo Bichette, knocked him over to second or something. Yep, there it is. Okay, so you said I thought you were still talking about.
Or else he wouldn't be on this list.
No,
he'd be a second baseman.
I understand. Bo Bichette's a shortstop, and he's a really good shortstop. I'm not sure I'm buying second best overall now.
He's the son of a Hall of Famer named Dante Bichette.
Well, Kevin Biggio is son of a Hall of Famer named Craig Biggio, and he's not on this list. That doesn't get you on this list here. So what gets you on this list is hitting 300 with an elite contact rate. So he's already, walking 6% of the time, strikes out under 20% of the time. Career high, 29 home runs. Oh, his career's like 3 years. All right. So 122 weighted runs created. There's maybe, I could see Xander finishing above this one, but right now, honestly, the last 3 guys are just like within points of each other. They're very, very close. So we're splitting hairs at this point here. So for 2022, 290. Again, that nice plate presence, 124 weighted runs created, approaching 30 home runs. So I think the projections, again, he's kind of newish to the league here. So they're saying, all right, what you've done is pretty consistent. We're just going to go with that until you show something different. So they're just going to give him the same thing, and that's good enough to be that top 2, 3 second base or shortstop for the season. All right, so we get to our number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think it is?
The guy that mimicked Michael Jackson's moonwalk.
Did he?
I think so.
I don't remember that.
Well, he did like a cool slide one time.
Oh, he backed over the plate or something? I don't remember that, but I'm gonna, if you said it, then I believe it here. So
Michael Jackson walked across a stage.
Trey Turner, your National League batting leader, 328 average, and you can see from that plate presence again, it's a consistent theme. We've said this for every player on every position. When you see the kind of that 10% walk rate, 20% strikeout rate or less, those tend to be your top guys. That's why I look at that first. Okay, before getting to some of the other things when looking at a player and evaluating, it leads to longer-term success. 142 weighted runs created with 28 home runs. That was a career high. So this year they're looking for some regression in that BABIP. 362 is a high number even for speedy guys, but he can handle something over 300, kind of that 320, 330 area because of his speed. So drop him down to 300, maybe just give or take a few points here. Again, that plate presence isn't going to change too much. Still looking at 130 weighted runs created with 27 home runs, which makes him the number 1 shortstop for the 2022 season over the course of the entire season. The back half of the season, that Tatis guy might have something to say for it. But over the course of the season, unless Corey Seager stays healthy, here it is. Here's your guy. So what do you think of the list? All right. Any changes? Anybody would add, subtract, move around?
No.
Okay. Well,
wait, I need to think of shortstops.
Okay. Well, we just named all the big ones. I don't think there's anybody that we're missing. Bobby Witt just made the team. He's going to start opening day, but he's more of a third baseman. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we got it here. So, anyways, we shall see how it goes. I like it. You have to go to bed.
I'm trying to think of shortstops.
So have a good night. If you think of it, you can do it on our Outfielders video tomorrow. And bye.